clever here as far as 2x2x2.
Yeah.
This one has a dam that was very good on the turf, and it just seems like this one, you know, I don't really like the Brad Cox turf sprinters, but it seems like when he wins in the turf with 2-year-olds, it's usually going longer in general. So I put this one on top over American Mink, who I do think is going to run better. What do you think? Any thoughts on Dave Donkstore's Salt Princess? I mean, I always look at the Cairo Princes as being a little bit interesting on turf. I just don't know if this horse is any good.
That's what I thought. And like there's 3 of them to try the turf with no
Did
winners.
not run
There's
well.
just no production whatsoever. And I feel like this is just, and it's not like she's one of the ones that we took in here, like the 6, 8, and 9, that were intended to be on the turf first time out. And, you know, Miss Call, I thought she ran okay first time out. She kind of she was lugging in. She didn't do herself many favors, but she was running on in that same race with American Mink.
I just thought American Mink was the one I wanted out of that race, who looked like maybe had some more upside, but whether or not she ultimately wants to go long is another question. Race number 2, I'm not trying to beat Ticket to Ride in here. I see you put her second here, and she was purchased privately after her second race, and this was one that she should have won her debut. Sean got a little unlucky here. I'll be kind, even though he sent me the dumbest tweet of the summer. And this was a very, very good field. She just got repeatedly blind switched in this race and ran a winning race. I just think that's a much better race. We saw Train Trouble come back and run well. They're going to come back 10 minutes after making an ill-advised trip with a New York bred to Kentucky Downs because they couldn't resist the money. That usually works out well in the stake. And Joseph Gimma came up a much better race. Moving to the turf seemed like a good move, actually. I don't know if you looked at Friday's card, but they got a nice field for that. And I just think Ticket to Ride's coming out of a much better race. A race that there's an argument she should have won.
A much better race than
Fancy Fights, yes.
But how can you say that? Because Trading Trouble won. It's almost
because I think this horse should have beat,
parallel.
but Trading Lights lost by 5 lengths in there. So why is Trading Lights going to run better here? Ticket to Ride should have won that race. Should have beaten Trading Trouble in there, and with a different rider, probably would have.
Yeah, I can see that. I just really liked Fancy Lights first time out, and actually George Weaver. I know we got kind of accustomed to him winning with these types up in Saratoga with 2-year-old. Second starting maidens in turf sprints, 6 for 19 with a 388 ROI.
Listen, I'm not going to be shocked if that horse wins. I've got the horse second. I obviously am not against the number 3. I just think Ticket to Ride was a more likely winner. It's as simple as that. I don't have a strong preference.
This is me just liking a horse a bit more physically.
Okay. I mean, listen, I don't have any problem with that. I think the Dancing with Destiny is certainly not impossible in there. She's dangerous to move forward a little bit off of that race. You obviously can't watch that race, but
speed. I think in her second start.
I got to think Manny's going from the rail with Ticket to Ride. I don't think he's
I'm not saying she won't, but
Flavia may go with a 3.
I do think Dancing with Destiny will be quicker.
Really? Okay. I didn't really have anything clever to say in this race. I guess I have To Be Wed in here because I have to put every Horacio Deposit in there somewhere.
I understand. I'm the same way a bit here. I didn't, you know, she was
not
like
a lot of
that
pedigree.
5th pick. But, there's not a lot of turf pedigree.
No.
The Dam, she's a fool to Funny Moon, who's a multiple grade stakes winner on the dirt going long. And honestly, she looked like, despite being a Yalpan, that distance will be more to her liking, and I feel like she might just get run off her feet here going the 5.5.
All right.
Or 6.
See what happens in this race. The 3-year-old ran well to win that turf stake yesterday, huh? She was
Wow.
very impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
She was really, really good in there.
I agree.
Race number 3, not a whole lot going on in here. I'm going to try, we'll take a look at leading role for Bill Morey. Last time this horse ran the dirt was at Churchill, finishing a distant second. And I don't know. I just sort of went in the Bill Morey. I mean, it's either this horse or Freedom Maker. I'm not convinced. Do we really, I mean, are we confident that Freedom Maker is going to be better going shorter?
No.
Linda Rice's numbers and the turnbacks are okay. Her turnbacks with maidens are pretty good.
Yeah,
Maiden Claimer, 16 for 45, 36%, $1.93. But I just thought this horse might be more proficient going shorter and might have a little more speed, that's all.
And it's not, and I think we have pretty fair tracks, but it just feels like you don't want to be closing from way out of it.
I agree. I think the track has been, I think the inside and speed have been good. I don't think the track has been heavily biased.
No, I don't
think a lot of it's been logical results and sort of logical horses winning, and we have seen some horses that made outside runs in the air. But you're right, we're not seeing horses make big runs from the back. I'm just not sure which horses have been dramatically hampered by the racetrack, because it's not like there have been some big favorites you thought would run that didn't make huge runs in the pack.
Right.
So.
And naturally, I'm just somebody that's going to want a horse that's going to be more forwardly placed in here. You know, and that's why I included Gray Ace in here second, and I just think this guy's going to be more forward with those blinkers on.
I mean, Gray Ace's race 2 races back was pretty good. His last race was abysmal, so I don't really know what to do after that race last time out.
I think he just needs to be more forward, and that's why the blinkers are going on. That's why Ruben Severa is getting aboard.
I think he will be more forward with Ruben because Ruben is a rider that likes to be more aggressive. And I think, you know, by adding Ricardo Santana and the success he's having in the Colony is definitely forcing everyone else to adjust their games and enough of this snatch and grab. If you're snatching and grabbing and Ricardo's riding a live horse, you're going to lose. And I think the riders are going to have to realize that it's just a little bit different now, and those tactics of slowing every pace down are not necessarily going to work in their favor. I thought the Athenia was an extremely interesting race.
I know, it's like the Open versus the New York Breds.
Yeah, it is, and we can switch to the 4th race, guys. And, you know, I thought something was really interesting about this Yotto. The thing I found really interesting about the Yotto was it was a day the rail was good. Now, I don't think, and we can show that replay, I don't think it was a huge, huge advantage, but it was good. Every single one of the first 3 finishers rode the rail for the majority of the race. Every one of these horses had a pretty delicious trip in here. And I just looked at it, and I thought they all hit the wire together, and I just didn't want any of them.
Yep. Okay.
You went in a different direction, it's fine.
I took the opposite approach in here, and I could be completely wrong. You know, there's a world in which it does set up perfectly for number 4 Whiskey Decision, whom I don't have in my top 4.
We'll get to her in a minute.
Because it does feel like there are several horses that want to go forward in here. Edict, Spinning Colors, Moon Age Daydream isn't that slow by any means.
Nope.
And, you know, she had to kind of be rated against her will, which it was the right decision, don't get me wrong, but she was probably a little fresh too, coming off the layoff, and she probably needed the race. She's probably going to move forward greatly with that race under her belt. So I thought Awesome Check has just gotten very good over this summer.
She
and
has
like you said, I am a Horacio de Paz fan, and I just thought they're looking at the dynamics of this race, I thought it could set up favorably for her.
It may. I just wonder if she can get the same kind of trip she got last time, because I think her win was a lot to do with the trip. Not that the other horses didn't get good trips as well. And at the end of the day, I've decided to just go against that race in general, for better or worse in here. I don't have a strong opinion for or against any of the 3 horses there. I think they can all win. I just went against them. As far as Whiskey Decision, I don't blame you. And we'll take a look at this horse winning at Monmouth for throwing this horse out, because she got very lucky here, coming up a golden hedge this day at Monmouth. And yeah, maybe those horses are okay, but I also think Azara was badly hampered by being wide. And that's one of the reasons I liked her in those races in Saratoga, is she had run well in here against the racetrack while Whiskey Decision was with it. And her race in the Ballston Spa, she sucked. It was a better field, but she wasn't very good in there. And I wonder how good she really is, Maggie. I don't disagree. Maybe I'm wrong to put her second. I'm not sure she's that good. Maybe you're on the right track with her.
That's just what I thought. Yeah. I just don't know how good she is, because I agree. And like Azara, I felt like was a horse that really, one of those weird horses that just loves Saratoga primarily.
Well, she had a bad trip there. She also got 2 unbelievably great trips in Saratoga.
Right. But there was nothing wrong with Whiskey Decision's trip, and she just, other than being the first one
She had a great
back,
trip last time out. She was terrible in her last start. I agree. She was absolutely terrible. Now, you want to say, well, she ran well off the layoff and then she regressed a little bit. Okay, I think that's not an unreasonable thing. The problem is her win at Monmouth was such a phony win that it's hard to like her.
It was such a boggy course. We had gotten so much rain that day.
Right, good is probably
it was yielding.
Right,
and
maybe that helped her a lot.
Look, the horse you put on top, I toyed with. I really did, because let's face it, her best race to date is when she rated.
Well, you know, you look at her race in the Bogey, and if she's able to run a race in the Bogey, I think she's going to win.
She can win.
Then she caught that boggy course. I don't even think she ran badly in the New York, all things considered, in the Della Rose. How much did she really lose by in that race? And you're right, she's not likely to get the lead from Spinning Colors near. Maybe she's a little bit better sitting off. I think she's run that race, and I'm just looking through and I'm thinking, I didn't want to pick any of the New York Breds. I didn't want to pick Whiskey Decision in here. And to me, she's clearly the other horse if you don't want to take them. And it's not like her races are bad, so I'm going to take a shot with her.
I am with you. I decided to play with my friends, the New York breds, because I don't know, maybe it's just a little bit of a heartstring. So because you're just so familiar with them, you see them run and everything like that. But Edict, nothing about. I'm with her.
And being that probably when this race is run, the Jets will be losing by double digits, maybe Dave Donk deserves to get a win by then. You know, Dave, I watched the Jets just for you last week, and I agree that was a horrible beat, and they ran really well.
Yeah.
We'll take a break after race number 5, and we'll start this conversation, I guess. I'll go back a year plus with launch control because we love looking at horses off long layoffs. I thought the track was fair this day. Did run a big race in there, but I got to tell you something. There's a lot of speed in this race. I don't know what kind of trip this horse is going to work out, and I don't want him off the long layoff. So you put him third. I've totally pitched him.
Okay, I get
I'm
that.
not wildly. I don't have a super strong opinion here.
And I get it. I showed a modicum of respect for the turf sprint work that this horse has done. But boy, does he have a lot of trouble staying on the racetrack. I mean, when Kerry took over with him,
it's off a year.
Right, and now it's a year plus. And obviously he showed that he needed a race coming back too. So like I said, I respect him because his body of work sprinting on the turf is pretty good. Where some of these, you're like, well, what? Like, for instance, number 3, Not for Hire. What happened last time?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got him third because his prior races make him good enough.
Yeah.
But his last race was a complete and total disaster. Okay, the race fell apart, but he was eased in that race.
No, I mean, come on.
He was eased.
Spoken bluntly, was the pace
forward
setter,
enough, yep.
and he was third.
No, I agree. He was atrocious, and off
And
that
Courtney
last
Baker
race
was right off of it.
No, I thought he was terrible. Alan Turing came up the rail to get it done, but I felt like Alan Turing took advantage of circumstance. Yes, he ran better than he'd been running. I had lost enough money on him and moved on from Alan Turing, and maybe he is ultimately a turf sprinter. I don't like a lot of horses in this race, to be honest with you, looking through it. Why don't you talk about why you picked Van Vollenhoven, and I'll let you know if I have anything to add.
Because I loved him switching to the turf last time. Switching back to the turf, I should say, because he looks like a turf horse. And then it was just a joke of a pace.
Yep.
I mean, he was allowed to run off. Now, Louis Rivera's on again, but that's okay.
Louis did it right. I don't think Louis did anything wrong last time. He rode the horse and he was danced with the girl that brought him there.
And he had a lot of other horses that wanted to go with him.
I thought he rode him well.
Nope,
it's just not his fault.
I'm going to stick to my guns and be the pace setter here. And it's not
He's also a sprinter. He's not a router.
Right. Look at his dirt sprint where he won 3 back. Look at his first start, his turf sprint against Open Company, where he was only beaten 3 1/4 length.
And Wesley Ward's won 2 to 5 shot, won the race by 2 lengths.
Right. So this was the horse I felt most strongly about.
No, I agree. I love him getting back to a sprint. There's a lot of horses in here I just don't really want. I mean, Pandemic Hero was a big last time was the time horse. He figures to be forward. I don't think Van Vollenhoven is going to be that far out of it. I thought the other horse, I mean, you and I saw the race the same way. Master Freud, who's getting a trainer change here to Antonio Arriaga. This horse has plenty of good turf sprints. The thing that bothered me a little with him was, what the hell happened last time? Now, maybe he was sick or something because he didn't work for over a month after that race because he was awful last time.
Yes.
His prior races kind of make him the worst to beat in here.
Absolutely. I agree. You know, I don't know the circumstances of the trainer change, like you said, the layoff of the poor performance, but there's enough consistency in his form prior to that, especially on the turf, that I think he's a must-use.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, to be honest with you, if they overbet Van Vollenhoven or whatever is like 9-2 or something in here, and this horse is 10-1.
Right.
This is the horse I'm going to bet because I like both of these horses in here, and I just want to see what the prices are. And if one of them ends up a demonstratively shorter price than the other one, I'll happy to bet my second choice in here. But I want these 2 horses here, and somebody else wins, I'm going to lose.
Yep.
I could live and die with that. I know they're both bigger prices, but they're the ones I like and the ones you like as well. We'll be back with the late pick 4 after a quick break.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, Maggie and Andy. Race number 6. I don't have anything clever to say. We'll take a look at Escape Hall, and we'll look at the start of this race as well, because Escape Hall doesn't really break as number 2 in this race. You're going to see he does not break and then rushes up very well. This is one that was kind of a tough beat from my friend Kirk Wyckoff. I'm not trying to beat this horse.
No, and took so much money first time out. So obviously hinting at the ability to run. And the only thing is, there's other speed in here, but at least he's
outside of him. He's outside of him. Bod Beach, obviously Bod Beach can win, but he's also had 3 chances. He won this race because the 2 partly got left last time. He's inside of him, and they usually break a lot better in their second start. I have no interest trying to beat a horse that figures to be a very short price here.
Because, all right, Campanaparo, can never get that out smoothly, ran the fastest race, but it was on turf. Now, finished behind a pretty talented runner in Johnny's Red Storm,
for sure,
won the stake down at Kentucky Downs, $1 million stake. And
that's like a small field all purse down there.
What?
That's a small purse, $1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
Kentucky Downs, don't even get me started.
Now,
not good for the game.
There is dirt pedigree. This horse is half to Victorious Wave, who was 6 for 11 on the dirt, and actually was by more of a turf stallion than Caro has proven to be a good turf sprinting sire, but that horse was by Stormy Atlantic.
Rick Dutrow is going to win a race here before I start betting. It's nothing against Rick. You know, I have a great deal of respect for Rick. I've had nothing but good things to say about him for a long time, but the reality is he can't win races in New York right now. And when he starts winning races, especially with short prices, if I like a horse that Rick has that's 10-1, I don't care. But with a horse that's going to be one of the favorites, he's going to beat me. Yep. And I agree, he's one of the ones in this race. But I just want to see that barn start winning races. For me, I would single Escape Hall and hope for the best.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
All right. Race number 7. Race number 7 was an interesting race.
It's a bit challenging. We certainly saw it the same way, though.
And well, you've got a...
I went a little crazy. I don't like anybody in here.
Well, let's start out with a horse that you have second and I have fourth.
Okay.
Brian Cooper. Because this horse is going to take an inordinate amount of money. And I have no conviction that this horse has really much ability at all. I thought this was a...
She's going to need the pace to collapse.
This was also not a particularly good field, and I thought the horses in this race that were okay all had far worse trips. I know she got it done. She made that big run. She ran a 67 Beyer. My guess is she probably has to run better to win here.
Yeah, Amazing Gracer's what, 5th? I think.
There was the Bond Firster that should have won up in Saratoga. Is that the horse I bet in the first race that Katie rode that was like 15-1 and should have won the race in Saratoga? Yeah, I bet her. Yeah, she had a ridiculous trip in this race. There were a number of funny trips in this race, and the winner was not one of them. And this is going to be a Chad Brown horse that's going to take a lot of money because it's Chad. And the reality is, say what you want, the barn is not exactly firing on all cylinders right now. So I don't need this horse at a short price. This horse is going to beat me.
So you, though, went, and I feel the same way about her. It was more just...
I want the horse in front.
Okay. I loved her last time, remember?
No, I don't think I was here. Was I here?
Yes, we did Talking Horses together.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, I have no memory of this.
It's okay.
It was a Saturday.
I'm pretty sure we did Talking Horses together. Because I remember pleading my case here.
We might have.
Because it was another situation in which there was nobody to like. It was the same, obviously, these claiming.
Who was Duboff?
Duboff was the Greg Sacco horse that ran very well in a tougher spot at Saratoga, then came back at 1-9 at Monmouth and aired.
Okay.
She was coming back off of a 2 to 3 year old layoff, and she looked phenomenal in the paddock. And I said, "Oh man,
why can't she wire this field?"
She's gonna have to do it from the outside post, which is not ridiculous to be. But I just thought she was very opportunistic from that inside post, going in the flat mile
pretty
last time out.
Pace.
And though I will say the switch to Ricardo Santana, I really like. Nothing against Christopher Elliott, but I felt as though he kind of let her run off.
Carter's a better rider. I'm sorry. It's
Been around a little longer.
I think Christopher shows a lot, of promise.
Yeah.
But he's not Ricardo Santana, and I'm sure he realizes that too.
Yep. So the only thing is I just, I picked her last time, and I thought, I was going to be a little bit sneaky here with Lotus Petal.
Okay, lay it on me.
I know, she looks slow on paper, right?
You think?
But
She won a horrendous maiden race up in Saratoga.
yeah, it wasn't great. I agree. But I feel like she's finding some more friends, some horses that she has a little bit more in common with here. And, you know, I'm just always going to be attracted in these inner turf course races to an inside post, a horse who has tactical speed as well, so it's not like she's going to have to close from that far off of it. And I mean, is she like, some of these horses have like one, like Twirly, 2 back 75.
I don't know where.
Layered in Silent Melody's form, there's a 77.
I will say that Silent Melody ran very well on July 16th. I know she never wins, and I could never pick her on top, but her race 2 back was extremely
yes, it was good. And it was
And
probably a better field.
And the problem with last time out was, because there was an incident, you can't watch the replay, and the winner actually had fouled the horse that came back to win in the dirt for TT off the claim for Flying P, excuse me.
Yeah,
the winner had actually
horse
fouled
that
that horse
worked it.
early in the race and eliminated her from the
Box
race.
Wine.
Right, Box Wine. And this horse was wide. This horse had an excuse last time, gets Flavian back. That race 2 back can win here. But I don't want to bet that horse at a short price either.
Right. So I just thought, you know, I don't think she's that far off of some of the better horses in here, some of the shorter price horses. And I just like the trip that she at least projects to get in here.
Okay. She's a big price. I'm not knocking big priced horses. Island Fox is a horse that scares me a little bit in this race. I know she's on a little bit in the slow side, but she's not that much slower, and she has been running against better horses. And you look at her race against North End Beauty, well, I mean, she ran every bit as well as Brian and Cooper did. Maybe Brian Cooper probably was wider and had a tougher trip in there, but I don't think she ran that much worse, and she's going to be 4 times the price.
Yeah. I mean, meeting completely different animals this time around. So I agree.
Yeah.
I could see it. You know, I kind of dismissed her at first, but
I feel like
point
this
that
is a
out.
race, and you agree with this. Don't default to the favorites in here.
No.
I mean, I will say with Twirly, I don't like Twirly, but at 8-1, given her race 2 back, I don't think she's impossible.
the problem is so one-paced. She needs to get out of the gate. It's Junior Alvarado's job to put her 1-2 in this race, which, if that doesn't happen, I don't think she runs any good here.
Well, you know, she's a very tough. I don't know why she even took money 2 races back, to be honest with you. And she actually ran, and any other race she's ever run in her career stinks. So I don't know who the hell she is.
Me neither.
We'll see. Interesting race, a more wide open race. Maybe the favorites will run 1-2. I kind of doubt it. Well, race number 8. Are they going to bet Melly Mel in race number 8?
Well,
We'll take a look at that last race.
Come back with a vengeance.
That horse got a 92 buyer yesterday. Not exactly a horse
No,
with a
Rob-
lot of 92 buyers in its past performances. So I feel like we've seen this circus before.
Correct.
We've certainly heard it before as well.
And you know it's only him, right? I know you say the Nodas, but
Oh,
it's only
Orlando?
him.
Okay. Well, it's more than one person screaming and yelling. I still actually had to go to the doctor after the behavior in the box area at Saratoga when they won a race. And yesterday we could hear them screaming from the set upstairs. It's one thing to be enthusiastic. I appreciate that. It's another one to be insane. And I respect insanity as well. I don't like this horse. The only reason I think this horse has a chance to win this race is because that barn. But otherwise, on paper, I don't think this horse is good enough to win this race. I thought this horse beat a horrible field. Good look to me, I believe, is running on Thursday. If you like Melly Mel, you can bet that horse with reckless abandon. Take a look at that horse's PPs. Makes that 71 buyer seem a little bit dubious.
Who?
The horse that was second, Tamia?
Oh, Timia.
I think that horse is in on Thursday,
Yes,
I think.
thought you
I
said
know
good.
it's somewhere around there.
Yeah, I look.
But I agree. I mean, the connections scare me. I mean, they do.
Exactly.
They scared me in the past, and they scare me again. But on PPs, handicapping this race as a race, this is not a contender.
No. I opted, like you, to go to the horses that are coming out of more quality fields.
Well, the scratch of the 5 changed
Really
the race
helps the 3.
dramatically for Moongate. I just don't really trust this horse. But
Which I get. But you isolate her dry dirt sprints. Then,
one of them was good.
Yeah,
She only has 2 of them.
I know, but you know, Tampa.
I'm not.
Such a weird place.
I put her 3rd with a scratch. She can wire this field. This is a very different scenario. But let me ask you a question. Isn't Melly Mel going to go? Isn't Dylan going to go? If Melly Mel is live, don't you expect her to go a little bit, or you just think
Okay,
this horse has to be?
fine,
I'm
but I
just
think
saying.
Moongate's naturally faster than
I agree
her.
she is. I agree. She's naturally faster. I'm still wondering if it's going to be a little bit
If
different
it was
here.
Ricardo Santana on Melly Mel, then I'd be a little bit more scared.
Hey, Dylan sent a horse for me to win a race the other day. Don't picking on my man Dylan. I made a score with Dylan earlier this meet. I can't rip on him for at least 3 or 4 days. You know, I always want to get I'm Buzzy in there. I think I need to go to like I'm Buzzy rehab or something. You know,
I know.
because every time she's in, I want to pick her. I don't know why I love this horse.
Look, I have her higher than you
I
do.
just love this horse, but I'm just sick and tired of her. She doesn't seem to make her runs. You know what?
Anymore.
I'm not going to bet her she's going to win one day, and I'm still going to be happy because I just have a love for this horse. I don't even know why.
I know.
I'm just a fan. As far as
I think she's hurt though, definitely with the scratch of the 5 overall.
I agree. She's hurt a lot by that, and that's why the 6. I was going to move my pick to the 6 on top when they scratched this, but I figured the 7 will be an okay price. I want to use 6 and 7s mostly in this race. I'll throw the 3 in as well. Spun Size got in some trouble. I don't shuffle back. It just kind of lost that position at a key moment in the race last time.
She was in a tight spot to begin with on the rail.
Yeah, but I'm still not sure how good she is because her one big race was an off-the-turf, sloppy track race.
Right.
So I'm still not sure she's really very good.
No, I agree
Not that
with
my
you.
horse is very good either.
And look, and last time, circumstances like we just talked about, Hey Cookie was able to wire the field. The favorite ran second. So I was willing to give her a few extra credit points for that. Bruce opts to bring her right back, you know, virtually in the same sort of spot overall here. But yeah, I respect her. I think that, and there's an argument where, yes, the 77 looks like a bit of an outlier, but too, she
is an
could
outlier.
just be getting better too. You know, you find with the late
I agree, right.
three-year-olds.
You give her a little trouble last time.
Yeah.
You said the figure's around 70-ish. Suddenly she's a major player
Right.
here, so I don't have a problem with that. As far as always practical, I think this is the most realistic spot. Or the most winnable spot she's been in since she was claimed by Linda. Okay, she's way above her head in the race off the claim. Then she decides to chase Maudlin's Promise because they decided somebody has to go after Dale in this race or she's going to waltz around the racetrack. That ended up blowing up a little bit in their face. And then last time out, going a mile in the mud, she ends up chasing in a race that ultimately kind of fell apart. I didn't think she ran that badly. I'll take her on the turn back. I'm mostly 6s and 7s in this race. I don't have a strong opinion, though.
And what I'll say about, you know, these horses that Linda is claiming from Kentucky, when she has to run them back there.
Yep.
But has she actually really seen them? Is she really, you know, the ones that has her hands?
No.
So that's why I think they're just so much more dangerous when they come here, when they've been under her care for a longer period of time. And like you said, this is a realistic spot for her.
And despite not running seemingly that well since the claim, she doesn't dump this horse in for a quarter or
Right.
30. She keeps this horse at the level she claimed it at, which I think is a positive sign.
I agree. I know I have her 4th, but I agree with
It's a
everything
tough
you
race.
said.
I think it's, and listen, we don't even like Melly Mel, and both of us are deathly afraid of her. And that's the problem when you have a barn that comes along that you feel as though the horses are running better than their people. And I liked that horse yesterday that won. The horse, the
did get a setup,
but he got a
frickin' ran
92 buyer. I
109.
mean, he ran like
109 and change.
Right.
What?
He ran. I mean, he ran a little better than even I could have predicted. Race number 9. Whistler's Style. I'm going to start with this horse on the outside, and I see you and I have pretty much the same opinion here as well. She can obviously win, but you know, I don't. She's a deep closer for a barn that is not putting up great numbers. Over the last 6 months, they're 8 for 113, 7%, and 87% ROI in the dirt at Naira. 9% for the year, $1.06. They're just not really winning, and I don't need to take barns that are not producing at short prices, especially with deep closers. It's one thing if they're a big price. I don't care about their stats at a big price.
She just falls out of the gate. There's no, you know, there's no giddy up with her. There's no changing her. You know what I mean? Overall. So I just wanted something that I knew was going to be forwardly placed.
supposed to be
I
in
got
front.
helped with a scratch again here with the Fast Kimmy coming out. And that's why I went to Spring Magic, stretching back out. She's been on top of paces going shorter as of late for Rudy. So I think she's totally clear here. And
She is.
you know that she's effective at this distance. And look, you've gone with the one who I think, you know, falls under the category of what I just talked about.
she's a big drop down for Linda that's not going to be a super short price. That was my feeling. If you look at Linda's races, 50-cent drop, second off the claim, she wins at a high percentage, but they're mostly short-priced horses. This one's not going to be a super short price. She's got that good race at Keeneland. Once again, a horse that's been in Kentucky that Linda hasn't really seen. I don't love, though, that she skipped Saratoga with this horse. But when could she run this horse in Saratoga?
Oh, yeah. 2 months, right. I mean,
Right?
maybe
So
like
she
the last
couldn't
week?
really...
Not even, no.
Not even
right.
the last week. So what could she really do?
So the problem is the barns that this horse has been in prior.
I agree. This horse has been in Chris Hartman's barn,
Hartman,
Diodoro's
Diodoro,
barn. I don't
Steve,
disagree. That
you know.
scares me a little.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was between the 1 and 2. I thought she'd be a slightly better price. I don't have a particularly strong opinion. They're the 2 horses I want in here, and that's it.
Yep.
Like, I'll live and die with them.
Yeah. The only ones that looked appealing whatsoever.
And you just had to have Joe Sharp in there, so you snuck him in 4th with a horse that I don't even know what to say. The problem with Speak Softly is, and you know I respect Joe as well, she's so slow. Even forget about her last race. She's a little on the slow side, and you know we'll see. But then again, she was eased in the only race she ran for Joe.
Yeah. And she was making a move, and then she switched leads, and obviously Jose felt something. It looked as though it was something behind, you know, whether it was they pull a hamstring or it was a stifle, because she's back in relatively, short amount of time, has plenty of work since then. So.
All right, we'll see. Yeah. Thanks, Maggie. Pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have a $5,000 hit and split late pick 5. You'll want to opt in for that. And it was not a bad throw, Maggie. It just sailed off.
I didn't say anything. You exposed yourself.
1 to 530. All right.
Well, your bad shot was exposed.
I'm not really somebody known to expose themselves, but you never know.
Thank goodness.
1 to 530. I do expose myself with bad handicapping picks a lot of the time, so there's that. But then again, if you work in horse racing and you're not exposing yourself with bad opinions, it just means you don't have any opinions.
Right.
Chris Griffin is up next with a reprise, The Scratch and Changes. Have a great Sunday.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.